and welcome back to Emily Cat 176. First things first. Oh, yes, that's going to stay there. I'm just letting you know that for the time being, I'm only going to be doing 2 videos a week now. The Wednesday post has to be held on hold for the moment because life is just very busy at the moment. So on the Mondays, I'll be talking about what I've seen or the shows coming up that I'm interested in or whatever, or what I'd like to let you know about. And then on Friday, it's going to be books and poetry. And I'm talking about a book today because, as I've said before, I'm a NetGalley reviewer, but this isn't a NetGalley book. I got this, well, I've borrowed this book from my local library. So here in Australia we have Borrow Books, and that's where you can go in and borrow books. You can borrow ebooks, you can borrow audiobooks, and this is, I'm listening to this as an audiobook. And what I'm listening to is Scrublands by Chris Hammer. I think that's a Hammer. Came out in 2018. This book, now like The Dry by Jane Harper, it's a small country town in drought. Now, I grew up in a small country town. I know what droughts are like. We get bad droughts here in Australia. And this book is set in Riversend in New South Wales. That's a fictional place, but this is where it's set. And the story, it begins with the journalist Martin Scarsden coming to the town. He's going to write a story about a crime that happened a year ago. And that crime was just shocking. The local priest, Byron Swift, held a service, went outside, went back inside, came out with a gun and shot 5 parishioners. So Martin Scarsden has come to the town to see how it's coping in the aftermath of this mass murder that's happened. What did I think of it? It's good. It's good. Now, this book is the first one in the Martin Scarsden series. There's at least 2 others after this, but this is where we first learn of the character. And he's a journalist who's been over in the Middle East. I think he's got PTSD actually, because he has nightmares about being in war zones, etc. But this is what he with his editor. His editor sent him back to see how the town is coping. It was good. It was good. And as I said, because Chris Hammer, I'll call him Hammer, an Australian author, he was a journalist himself, journalist for 30 years or more. He was a very well known journalist, and these are his crime novels that he's started to write. But Australian writers, the way they write about the landscape, because if you're not interested in crime and you want to know Australian authors, can I suggest Cloud Street by Tim Winton? Oh, I love that book. I love that book as well. And that's set in Sydney in the Depression. And Tim Winton, of course, he's from Western Australia. Chris Hammer, I think he's either from Canberra or he's from New South Wales. Jane Harper is actually English, but she's lived in Australia for quite a few years. But out of all of them, I think the one that can write the Australian landscape and bush the best is Tim Winton. But Chris Hammer as I said, the drought itself, it is a big part of this novel. And I actually, was it last year or the year before, I saw Chris Hamer. Oh, Hamer, I'll call him Chris Hamer. I saw him speak at Frankston Library. Because I don't know about the libraries where you are, but our libraries have author talks. And I saw Chris Hamer. Oh, sorry, I keep Hamer. I saw him speak because I find it very interesting to actually hear in their own words how they come up with their ideas, how they write them, whatever. And he was it was a popular talk, and he spoke well. So yeah, let me know if any of you have read any of these books. Scrublands is the title. It's an area out in the bush. And the thing with the bush here in Australia, especially where I grew up, you went to the end of the street, you were in the bush. And I love the Australian bush. There's a little bit of mongrel about it. And of course we have bushfires a lot because of all the gum trees and what's in the bush, but I love the Australian bush. And just like the dry and this book, Scrublands, the drought and the lack of rain and the landscape is a big part of the story. So I've enjoyed this, and of course with BorrowBox, because it's from a library, it's free. All you have to do is join and be a member, and you get these things for free. You get a set time, of course, to read it, and then you either renew it if it doesn't have a wait list, or you return it. I also am reading a NetGalley book. I'm about 3/4 of the way through that, and I might talk about that next week. So anyway, that's it for Friday. As I said, really good book. Really good book. And I think whether it's because I can understand the stories, I think, because I did grow up in the country, and I know what country towns are like, and I know what they're like in long, hot, dry summers. And I also know what it's like to live with the threat of bushfires as well. So anyway, I hope you're all well. Thank you again to all the new subscribers, and I'll be back on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.